Since learning to ride at a young age, we mostly rode our bicycles for recreation. Nowadays, bikes are used for transportation in bustling cities like Cleveland. With an increase in bike traffic, Cleveland is doing more to increase bike lanes and educate drivers, bicyclists, and even pedestrians about safety as we all travel the same road.
So we've seen over the years, especially over the last 5-6 years, bicycle usage has gone up, and we do think for a couple reasons. One, just a national trend, right? We've seen more and more people of all ages using bicycles in cities. And then the second piece is that bike infrastructure, bike lanes like this, that do signal to people that they can bike. These roads are for them, for cyclists, and then it also does increase safety.
I think as we begin to mature with respect to on-road cycling and infrastructure to accommodate that people who are new will tend to ride on roads more. But I think the work that we're doing right now with respect to dedicated bike lanes, stripe lanes, but also the protected lanes as well as lanes that are marked with coloration, those are all pieces of the puzzle that's going to make the bicycle mode a pretty common phenomenon in the city of Cleveland.
It's not just young people taking the Cleveland streets on their two-wheelers either. 70-year-old Ludmila Rowinski rides her bike every day from Parma to Cleveland State University, where she's taking classes.
This bike has kind of like saved me from being depressed, because I can't go anywhere. In the winter, I can't go anywhere. The buses are so bad. I just love it because it's fresh air, exercise, and it's faster than taking the bus.
All bicycle riders, regardless of experience, should be familiar with the rules of the road. The biggest question among many riders is, do I go with the flow or against the flow of traffic?
The safest way to travel, and the statistics bear this out, is to stay with the flow of traffic. And technically, you have to follow the same rules of the road as everybody who's using the road. By law, you have to go the same way as traffic. You have to follow the traffic control devices. You have to stop for stop signs. You have to stop for red lights.
When motorists are sharing the road with bicyclists, they should be aware of one important law.
The 3-foot law deals with a new law that just came out about a little over a year ago. And what that gives the cyclist is 3 feet leeway from the curb where they can ride the bicycle as their own specific area. That's a minimum.
If you see a cyclist, slow down and give them extra space. When you're passing, even though the state law only requires 3 feet of clearance, and that's about that much, if you have room, do a complete lane change. Give them 8-10 feet if you can, and don't get right up behind them.
Bike lanes can be confusing for some motorists. A common question is whether they can merge in or drive on a bike lane.
It's especially important to note that if a bike lane is present, a motorist must merge into that bike lane before they turn, just like they would merge into the right-hand lane if it was a general purpose shared lane.
A lot of times you'll notice is that you'll see like a dotted line when you come to when you're making a right-hand turn, where you're going to pull into. It's going to be a shared lane between the cyclist and the driver of the motor vehicle. The driver of the motor vehicle at that point will have to make sure that it's clear to enter the bike lane to make the right-hand turn.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, in 2016 there were nearly 850 bicyclists killed in motor vehicle accidents. Now more than ever, bicyclists must be completely aware of their surroundings when on the road and practice good safety habits.
The most common things people should add to their bike for safety is helmet is first and foremost. It's something that they're lightweight and comfortable nowadays, and very inexpensive. And when the worst happens, it definitely can make a huge outcome in how you fare, and if an accident does occur. After that, a lot of people will add lights to their bikes, front and rear.
Always use a headlight and a tail light. You've got to have those to be visible at night. During the day, you're easy to see without a light, but I use one all the time, especially at night. You have to have one.
If you're going to take to the city by bike, we ask that you ride with confidence, take the lane if necessary for visibility and safety, and always Be predictable when you ride. A lot of times, like if as a cyclist, you're moving with the flow of traffic, never against, and you're going to stop at street signs, and if you need to signal your intentions as to which direction you're going, letting the cars know your intentions ahead of time can make the whole street interaction go much, much smoother.
If you see a cyclist, slow down and give them extra space. When you're passing, even though the state law only requires 3 feet of clearance, and that's about that much, if you have room, do a complete lane change. Give them 8-10 feet if you can, and don't get right up behind them. All those cyclists are taught never to ride within 4 or 5 feet of parked cars, because once the door opens, they're probably going to hit that door. It's really the responsibility of the motorist and their passengers to check first. So when you're opening the door, just take an extra second, check your side view mirror, turn your head, maybe even open your door a little, lean out and look, just to make sure a cyclist isn't approaching.
For more information on bicycle safety, or if you want to know more about the rules of the road, contact Bike Cleveland at bikecleveland.org. You can also contact the Cleveland Department of Aging at 216-664-2833.